Hallo und willkommen zurück zu Divinity Original Sin 2. Wir sind noch hier beim Charakter, Inventar, Sortieren, Dings. Healing Potion, Medium Healing Potion. Das kann mal dann da nach oben. Mark of Wine. Rotten Eggs. Set Diseased. Bucket. Silverglass Salad. Bedroll. Haben wir noch ein anderes. Air Resistance, das kann Zwerge haben. Eggs. Das geht zu dem. Bottle of Wine geht auch darüber. Das kann der sogar hier halten. Sell it. Das kann man auch verkaufen. Zwergi. Short Stick ist zum Basteln. Auch zum Basteln. Das sind alles Sachen zum Verticken. Bier, Alkohol, Bonbon. Basteln. Das hier war ein besonderes Quest-Item, mehr oder weniger. Empty Honey Jar. Nein, da war es doch. Auf Honey, geht darüber. Ja, komm. Rüber. 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 Broken Bottle. Ich setze es einfach mal auf Verkaufen. Animal halt. Was war das? Was zum Essen? Ja. Ja, das Charakter im Management habe ich ja schon ein paar Mal erwähnt. Das hätte man auf jeden Fall besser machen können. Dann gucken wir uns mal die Bücher an. T is for Troll by Harlan D. The term troll behavior refers to the way trolls live their lives, from killing and feeding to roaring and courtship rituals. Once you have begun to identify the trolls in your local meadows and caves, your next step is to find out how they behave. Luckily, this book is here to help. All trolls make for formidable foes, not just due to their size, but due to their talents for health regeneration. A half-dozen adventurers could spend many a minute slashing away a troll, only to make nary a permanent mark upon it. Some adventurers insist that burning or poisoning may prevent the troll from regenerating. Imagine their surprise when a troll wields those same skills against them, with no apparent harm. This is because some trolls are weaker than others in certain elements. Virulent trolls will use poison freely, but are adverse to the sun and keep the shadow. They are vulnerable to fire, which is just as well you'll need a torch when searching for them. Blazeborn trolls are eternally thirsty and thus tend to congregate near rivers and ponds. Use poison on them if you wish to halt their healing capabilities. Amphibious trolls can breathe both under and above water, but they prefer clean, fresh air, given how quickly their tender lungs fill with fog and smoke. Behavioral notes. Deathfog kills most living things instantly, but trolls may actually develop immunity with mild, prolonged exposure. If you encounter such a beast, they may be harmed only when a curse is applied to the appropriate attack method. Trolls are typically omnivorous, but many are known to develop a taste for humanoid flesh. These creatures often lose their weakness entirely, though as constructs of flesh and blood, they are not indestructible. Okay, muss ich mal gerade aufschreiben. Also, wir haben Virulent Trolls. Die sind but are averse to the sun and keep to shadow. Also sind die gegen Feuer. They are vulnerable to fire, ja. Vulnerable to fire. Which is just as well, you'll need a torch when searching for them. You need a torch. Fragezeichen. Dann haben wir Blazebone Trolls. Are eternally thirsty and thus tend to congregate near rivers and ponds. Use poison. Vulnerable to poison. Use poison on them if you wish to hold the healing capabilities. Dann haben wir Amphibious Trolls. Can breathe both under and above water, but they prefer clean, fresh air, given how quickly their tender lungs fill with fog and smoke. Vulnerable to fog and smoke. Wahrscheinlich. Behavioral notes. Death fog kills most living things instantly, but trolls may actually develop immunity with mild prolonged exposure. If you counter such a beast... Ja, okay, da. Ja, wenn immun, dann Curse oder so. Mal gucken. So, Tales of the Seven Gods, ich glaube, das haben wir schon. Bla 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 bla. One day I made a stillness with wizard result in the birth of several demigods. She granted her love and mortality. Naja, ich glaube, das habe ich noch nicht. The Seven Gods were still young when they decided that each of them should have their own race. Guide them for eternal flow of time. And thus it happened that Relic doch hatten wir. Dann haben wir ein Book. Son against Father, Death in the Elflands, a dramatic retelling of true events. Lucian the Divine and his adopted son Damien stand square-shouldered before each other, alike non in visage but in determination. Damien, and what have you been to me these years? I am your father. It was I who saved you. I who loved you. Love, you denied me everything. I am, my true nature, the woman I loved. You would have seen me clean-cheeked, clinging, castrated, if it meant I'd cause you no. Das hatten wir auch schon mal. Dann haben wir nochmal Book. The book contains the description of several magical artifacts that have been forbidden by the Divine Order. As you flip through the book, your eye lands on a section about idols of rebirth. Das hatten wir auch schon. The feats of the Four. The feats of the Four. Behold the mighty heroes of Driftwood, and the feats for which we owe them our thanks. Garrick, a human who slew the necromancers preying upon the dead of the Stone Garden. Bromley, a dwarf who defeated the demons that plagued the great woodlands. Vydia, a lizard who subdued the strange beasts that arose from the primordial caverns east of Driftwood. Hela, an elf who defended the farmers who feed Driftwood against pitiless bandits. They are immortal through their deeds. Their implements of victory shall rest where they slew their enemies. Ja, das sind ja die auf dem Friedhof bekämpfbar sind und wo ich gegen abgestunken habe. Dann haben wir On the Origins of Lucian. There was a great need then. Unfathomable forces of darkness, forces so great the seven themselves could not hold them at bay, began to gather like storm clouds over our great realm, and so they made the decision. They would put their differences, their rivalries, their pride aside and join in a single avatar, one, who could unite their power into a single almighty force of order and good. Lucian was chosen from among those summoned. Lucian the worthy, Lucian the holy, 7 times divine was he, and yet still he fell. Okay, dann müssen wir jetzt mal gerade das so machen, damit ich die Sachen schneller in die Tasche räumen kann. Flip, 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 flip und flip. Gut. Dann Mirror on the wall.
You see yourself in the mirror. It's quite a sight.
Okay, dann Painting.
I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Push the button.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you.
Enter the self combination as the Maestra calls it out.
Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, Godwoken.
Powerful Awakening. Okay, Moment. Aufgabe. Powerful Awakening.
Come speak to me when you wish to proceed. And try not to break anything in the meantime.
Ja, Moment, wir müssen hier erstmal wieder alles plündern. Lolala. Aha. Da kann man jedenfalls...
Weird contraptions. This place is an Arcanist dream.
Da kann man jedenfalls seine Source dann wieder aufladen. Aha. Medusa Head Skillbook. Kann man leider nichts mit anfangen, glaube ich. Atelier Plant Scroll. Ah, okay. Das ist ohne die Source Power. Lavish Share. Nehmen wir alles mit. Mortar and Pestle. Pouch. Da kann ich auch mal dran rumfummeln. Wow. Mhm. Incinerator Control Valve. Das lassen wir erstmal da. Book. Book. Da liegt eine Figur auf dem Boden. Grotesque Jar ist wahrscheinlich auch nur Müll.
Junk.
Firestorm Grenade.
Rubbish.
Das hier ist Zierde. Da ist eine Hand drin. Painting of a Man. Müssen wir haben. Spoon. Sinnlos.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order.
Mhm. So, da müssen wir hier wohl nochmal das Inventar durchgehen. Bottle of Swirling Mud. Mhm. Rhymes of the Scribes. I can deduct one recipe from this book, but this reads more like a puzzle than a recipe. I will have to experiment with what I can learn from these rhymes. With a sense of life on paper you write, with a piece of Riverland's dwellers you cite, the magic desired offenders mistreat, turn flesh into feather, apply chicken feet. On Source Orbs, Part 3. The most powerful scrolls are made with Source Orbs. These are source skills that you can cast at will without requiring source. One example is to start writing a scroll as you would write a pyrokinetic scroll with something sharp, but use the Source Orb as an ingredient. Das hier ist wirklich absoluter Müll. Treatises on humanity? Why the seven gods exist not now, nor ever have. Gods? Ha, fairy tales, phantoms, what more? Who could mistake the mysteries of nature for the hand of a ghost? The bounty and beauty of nature, it seems foolish to assign this wonder to some unknown and unknowing entity. Some may request I cast my mind's gaze not upon the lilies of the field, but upon the soul of man and the higher beasts. But this I submit, that I have inspected the inner workings of men and beasts living dead. And beasts living and dead, and I have found no soul, only squirming red and bleeding purple. There was no God in these private chambers. In those private chambers. Okay, ist auch sinnloser Quatsch. Sheet of paper. Das können wir auch rübergeben. Achso, und hier können wir Store und Lady Vengeance. Ja, okay. Notes on Godwoken Ascension. Meister Siva instructs me to record my research before I conduct any experiments regarding Godwoken Ascension. The ritual itself is quite simple. Place a single piece of black root in the ritual bowl. Draw blood with obsidian lance, your own is most convenient, and sprinkle it upon the root. Set a flame to the bowl and its contents. Ensure that you have sufficient source. Inhale the resulting smoke. Beyond this point, nothing is known. The ingredients for this ritual are not rare per se, but may be difficult to procure. I am fortunate that the Maestros source fountain never runs low, so it is simple to gather source. Black root, however, is another matter entirely. The root grows in the forests to the northwest of Driftwood. It produces no poison nor thorns to guard it, but all manner of creatures stalk those trees. It is wise to quickly grab what one needs and then return. I pray that my experiments here pave the way for the future scholars, or should I succeed, to allow any to be the equals of Godwoken. Apprentice Talik. We have read a book of gucken wir mal, was hier ist. Told us to find Siva. Ja, hanging from a wrist. Haben wir. We have rescued. We must follow Meister Siva instructions so that we can access the cellar. We must press a button hidden on the wall beneath a mountain painting, then enter the code that she provides into the hatch that the button reveals. We have entered the cellar beneath Meister Siva's house. We have read a book of instructions for the ritual. We need to cut ourselves with an obsidian lancet, then mix the blood with black root inside the ritual bowl. Then we'll have to burn the mix of produce a smoke that we must inhale. There's an incinerator in the cellar that we can use to burn the mix. Chain lightning scroll. Tea herbs. Water and Pestle. Kann man hier auch verkaufen. Pouch. Ja, das ist eigentlich auch sinnlos. Jetzt habe ich ein bisschen viele von. Weg, weg. Telekinesis. Kann der auch haben. Empty. Black Dye. Die kann ich wegwerfen. Wooden figurine. A hand-carved figurine of well-old Lepitaran wood. Those beady eyes seem to follow you, no matter where you place it. Bread. So, ein bisschen seltsam, dass da immer dieses X ist, von wegen, das geht nicht. Aber anscheinend geht's ja doch. Okay, da haben wir noch ein Bild zum Verkaufen. So, Atelier Pran. Achso, das war eine Scroll. Das war keine. Das ist ja sinnlos. True Brew Augmentor. There once was a brilliant inventor who created the herb called Augmentor, but when his wife ate it, her body inflated and suffered a terrible temper. This is a very well-known limerick, after which the inventor tried to change the composition of the plant so that it wouldn't enlarge people anymore. However, it did retain its amplifying capabilities. It's now often used by bartenders to dilute drinks without actually watering them down. A good brewmaster knows how to make this work with potions too. Medium healing potion. können wir mal gerade reinräumen. So, Medusa Head haben wir schon. Der kann das noch lernen. Ja, macht zwar keinen großen Sinn, aber kann er haben. Wobei, doch, ist eigentlich schon gut. Petrifying kann er damit ja auch. Da müsste ich aber auch hier mal gerade wieder ein bisschen freiräumen. Der hat hier zu viele Skills und Kram. Ja. So, book used to read. In this tome, Hubert, the historian assembles the boot of what is still known to the larger work of the infamous Brachus Rex. Das haben wir schon. Dann haben wir, this is a book of songs and sonatas written by the great bard Kirill, the greatest composer known to both the living and undead. One song in particular catches your eye. The springs mix with the rivers and the rivers with the sea. If the waters may duly merge, then why not you with me? Aha. So. Okay, fertig. So, dann reden wir mal mit dem.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken?
Say that you hope it's a chance to stop the divine order. Say that it means being able to do anything you want. Say that it means total responsibility to others. A chance to stop the divine order.
A chance, yes, but it is much more than that. No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void.
Das hast du. Okay. Da können wir mal gerade offer all wares. Und zack. Und danke. Ja.
The divine cannot use his power for anything else.
Hold up a hand. Surely you can use some power for yourself. Not, you understand. Not, but you're already thinking about what you could do with such power. Growl that you've already told her what you will do when the power is yours. Hold up a hand. Surely you can use some power for yourself.
When you become the divine, there is no more self.
For just a moment, her eyes soften as she looks at you.
It is no small thing to ask, but it is your duty. Without a new divine, Rivellon will die.
Growl that you've already but you're already thinking about what you could do with such power.
Very well then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Observe that her cuts look pretty bad.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
Say that you'll get started immediately. Pause for a moment. Ask if she's ever seen the ritual performed before.
Once, although not by a Godwoken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become divine.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly, wincing slightly.
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was... was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death.
Actually, you're suddenly not so sure about this. What happens if you don't want to risk it? Your eyes go wide. She let her assistant go through with that, even though she wasn't Godwoken?
Well, certainly. It is not my place to police the stupidity of others. I have to admit I was curious. Imagine if it had been a success. Why, then anyone could have ascended. Even I... Alas, success was beyond her reach. Quite fascinating to watch, though. I've never seen a body burn from the inside out before.
Ja, ist ja super. Swallow nervously. Well, at least you're sure you're Godwoken. You'll get ready for the ritual. Stare in horror. You're not going to risk that. Laugh at her apprentice's misfortune. Thankfully, you're the genuine article. You'll get right to it. Swallow nervously.
And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the cloisterwood to fetch you more blackroot.
Champion of the gods. I learned of a ritual that will reveal more about the path of divinity. I must gather the necessary ingredients and carry out this ritual as soon as possible. I must place some blackroot in the ritual bowl. Add some blood drawn from an obsidian lancet, then burn the mixture and inhale the smoke that it creates. Everything I need to carry out the ritual ought to be in Master Silver's cellar.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order.
Look for the materials you need to complete the ritual.
After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and drudene oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed.
Ja, dann... Ach, das ist okay. Ritual Bowl. Combine with. Wieso müssten die hier wechseln mit so einem anderen Interface? Das ist doch... Das ist man ja wieder am Suchen mit den anderen Quatsch, den ich da irgendwo hatte. Jetzt weiß ich mal, wie das aussah. Das war daneben das Blackroot. Combine. Jetzt muss ich mich pieksen. Use. Bloody. Okay.
As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading.
Hold the fumes in your lungs, ignore the thumping in your head.
As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
Da sind wir wieder. Okay. Die anderen sind am Schlafen. Die sind auch hier drin. Oder so. Ah, da oben ist aber... Naja, es ist nur... Das sieht wahrscheinlich nur so aus. Der Karte, dass man da hin kann. Oder das ist viel höher. Ne. Ja, laut der Karte müsste man dahin können. Aber anscheinend nicht. Ist auch Ende. Da hinten ist wahrscheinlich wieder unser Gott. Ne, das sind wir selber. Wir sind unser Gott. Na gut, dann reden wir mal mit uns.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self.
Mhm.
It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Ivan, my wolf! Come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am.
Ask who you're speaking to.
You will see when you look me in the eyes.
Der klingt aber anders. Klingt.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes, shine brightly. Speak the spell and see.
You learn Spirit Vision. Cast this spell regularly to reveal a hidden world of ghosts lingering in the mortal realm. Spirit Vision. 2 new journal updates available. Powerful Awakening. We will need to further increase our mastery of source power before any of us can access the wellspring and ascend to divinity. Encounter on gods and then gain Spirit Vision, the ability to see and talk to ghosts. We have gained Spirit Vision. If any spirits linger at the side of the wrecked caravan, then we might be able to speak to them and learn more about what happened.
God is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the god Ralik in all his spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Ralik nourishes himself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god.
Dying? Ask what happened to him.
The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion.
Ethan smirk. Relic's clearly not going to beat you up again, not in his current state. Tell him you wouldn't have thought him a defeatist. Point out that by hiding in your soul, he's turned you into a target for every Void Woken in the world. Say there must be some way to save him.
To save us both, as a matter of fact. You must realize, Ivan, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension.
Tell him you're not going anywhere without a damn good explanation of why.
You most certainly will. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs.
Wait, hold on. The gods once gave away half their powers just like that?
It was a time of selflessness and sacrifice in the face of our old enemy. It was an act of heroism and a dreadful mistake. A mistake we must rectify. The Void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom. This world's liberator.
Tell him that sounds like the kind of megalomaniacal talk that led Lucian to his end.
You will be one, or you will be none. The other gods must bow to you or be undone. But of course, that is what they are saying to their own god Woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One. At the expense of all others.
Na, werden wir mal sehen.
So make no mistake, Ifan. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your blood-red hands. But don't let that dismay you. For these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin, and your loved ones, and the world they live in.
Tell him you wish to work with others, not against them. Surely you do not need to be a tyrant to succeed. Not, you're convinced. Where can you find this Well of Ascension? Ask him what will happen to all the other races. Tell him that Divinity already caused the deaths of those you held dear and destroyed the world they lived in. Und das erste.
Of course the ends do justify the means. Life, or the eternal void. If you choose life, you choose the Well of Ascension. I will lead you there when you're ready, when you've become a true master of the Source and speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-woken can, and wield its most powerful spell.
Frauen, aren't you already a Source Master? Say that if you are to become a Master of the Source, surely there's no better tutor than him. Smile wryly and say that pilgrimage sounds rather ironic given your mission. Tell him he can keep pretending you are going to obey his commands if he likes, but you are the ruler of your own soul. Ja, das klingt gut.
Hoarse laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You have so much to learn, so much higher to climb, so much farther to grow. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek Masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So, return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here.
Before you go, ask what exactly he did to your eyes.
Something that will make you understand that for a god, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is, immortally so. You have the vision of a god now. Eyes that can see spirits, the souls of the dead made manifest in Source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger.
Not and take your leave.
Best of luck, Ben Mezd.
Na, hallucinogenic Smoke Cloud. Dann werden wir da mal rein. Können wir noch mit dem reden?
Go now, Ifan. Revellon and its masters await.
Okay.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
Ignore the burning in your lungs and quickly explain what happens. You got hiding within you your new power and the Masters of Source. Wave away her questions and cough that searing green smoke out of your system. Outlaw, tell her that's valuable information, you're not giving it away for free. Wave her question and cough that searing green smoke out of your system.
She stares intently for a moment, taking in every detail before sighing deeply.
You didn't have enough sauce, did you? You had all the materials, but not the sauce. That is unfortunate.
She's telling you, the last thing you want is to spend the time training under her. Huh? Look at her in surprise. She doesn't know what you need to do next. Brush off her concerns. You can do anything. Grin. You're not sure about a hornpipe. You've been threatened with a hangman's jig before, was? The last thing you want is to spend time training under her. Look at her in surprise. She doesn't know what you need to do next.
I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of source. And I could have helped you once, but no longer. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. They stripped me of my source. Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to lime.
Hört sich grad anders an.
Enough to sever my link to the font from which all source flows. And certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turn into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to.
Wait, ask if she's really telling you that you need to go and train under evil sorcerers? Hero, rest your hands on your weapon. You'd be better killing such creatures, not begging them for help.
Were the circumstances any different, I would indeed agree. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them.
You can't hide the concern on your face. She doesn't seem well.
And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters.
Ask where you can find these masters.
The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
Yeah, es läuft so langsam aus. I say that you'll be back as soon as possible. Wish her well and take your leave. Thank her for generously passing this death-defying mission on you and leave. Wish her well and take your leave. So you'll be back as soon as possible. Champion of the Gods. Powerful Awakening. Na gut. Bottle filled with oil. Da war noch was am Tisch. Das können wir noch mitnehmen. Meat Cleaver. Aha. So, und da laufen wir einmal drauf. Wupp. Ach, da ist der Apprentice oder die Apprentice.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. You honor me.
Ask why she risks such a thing if she was aware of the dangers.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.
Take your leave. Ritual Bowl nehmen wir auch wieder mit.
Good
Vielen Dank.
find.
Ja, dann. Aber die Source Power hat sich jetzt nicht erhöht. Wir haben bloß diesen Spell bekommen. Na, aber den hat man immer dabei. Den muss man nicht wie Bless und noch einen Slot für aufwenden. Okay. Pantry Cupboard. Naja, wir gehen jetzt auf jeden Fall wieder hoch. Mit allen. Wobei, vielleicht können wir da sogar... Reden wir mal mit dem.
The spirit of an elegant...
You can see me.
Na. Blub, 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 blub. Ach, das hat hier gar nichts. Das okay, das kostet gar nichts. Mhm. Na dann. So, ja, dann hätten wir das erstmal. Dann könnten wir gucken, ob die jetzt was anderes zu sagen hat.
The Meister's back! The Meister's back! She doesn't feel like playing, but...
Out. Na gut. Dann werden wir mal weiter zum nächsten Haus. Das sieht nach irgendeinem Orden aus. The Magister's Barracks. Direkt nebenan. Aha. Dach.
You doing okay, boy of mine? Ma, I'm fine.
I'm watching you, stranger.
Casually mention that you heard there's still some powerful sorcerers on the loose in this region. Claim that you have important information on some powerful sorcerer fugitives in the region.
Magister Carver's got all the information he needs locked up downstairs, so don't think you'll get a reward for peddling hearsay.
Take your leave.
Of course,
Over
sir.
awakening.
Right away.
You doing okay, boy of mine?
We have learned that the information we seek about the powerful sorcerers is locked in the lowest level of the Magister Barracks.
You're a hero.
Got walking on the path to Divinity. My main focus should be to seek out masses of source, blah blah. Okay.
Surrounded by incompetence. I deserve a better posting.
The Magister startles, realizing there's a stranger in his midst.
What do you want? You can't just come in here as you please. There's Magisters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation.
Was ist das zum Verkaufen? Pixie Dust. Hatten wir schon. Ranging. Ja, vielleicht auch nicht, weiß ich nicht genau. Shoot back that you don't give a damn about his investigation. Soldier, tell him your name and your rank and say you'd like to learn more about these missing Magisters. Apologize and say that you are new to the area. Nehmen wir das hier.
Good to hear someone cares about our missing uniforms. If we don't find the culprit soon, I fear we'll lose another good recruit.
Ask about this investigation. There was mention of a fugitive. Said if this investigation is so important, you ought to be out there leading it in person. Ja, mal das erste.
Yes, a vile little tinkerer goes by the name of Higba. 3 of my Magisters have gone missing of late from right here in Driftwood. All signs are that Higba is responsible.
Ask if there's a reward for catching the fugitive.
Catching, killing, I don't care. There'll be gold for whoever puts an end to this rat. If you see anything, tell me or my men at once. Otherwise, keep the hell out of our way.
Raise the subject of the disappearances.
Well, do you know anything?
Admit that you have nothing to report right now.
Stop wasting my time then.
Take your leave. The missing magisters.
My inkwell is dry. Fetch me some
Right
more.
away.
We have learned that the magisters are investigating several disappearances from their ranks that have occurred around Driftwood. They suspect foul play and are hunting for a fugitive. Their top suspect is a tinkerer, a sorcerer named Higba. It might be worthwhile to conduct our own investigation. We have encountered Magister Carver, who is in charge of uncovering the cause of the Magister disappearances in Driftwood. He may have a reward for anyone who can help solve the matter.
Ma, I'm fine.
Bridgekeeper,
Well,
ach, bis
there's
die.
a fun face. Byron and I are patching up before we head home. Hope the Order folks are treating you all right. You stay out of trouble now.
Aha.
You're the best.
Ich weiß.
Come on. Can't I go and play with the others?
Ja, da könnten wir runter.
Do, Chickadee. You're not leaving my sight for a while longer yet. Oh, great, a citizen. Can't you see I'm on a break here?
Tell her you found a destroyed Magister caravan outside town.
What? Oh no. Poor Demori. Go tell Magister Raymond or Magister Julian immediately. They'll raise the alert. Go. Now.
Aha.
Again? Seriously?
Back away, she's clearly in no mood for a chat. Damit werden wir sie dann wohl los. Die Wette.
Head nodding drowsily, the Magister brings her voluminous sleeve up to her face. She sniffs loudly and suddenly jerks to attention, eyes red-rimmed with zeal, and something else.
They won't take me unawares. I'm ready for anything. See? I haven't stepped in. Well, I'm ready. That's what matters. Vigilance!
Wiping her spittle from her cheek, ask who they are. Remind her that even soldiers need sleep to be efficient.
She laughs an unpleasantly brittle crackle.
Sleep is for the weak. Weak! You just wait indeed. You'll fall into it like all the others, not me. Never me!
Die klingt nicht so alt, wie sie aussieht.
Head nodding drowsily, the Magister brings her voluminous sleeve up to her face. She sniffs loudly and suddenly jerks to attention, eyes red-rimmed with...
They won't take me unawares. I'm ready for anything. See? I haven't stepped in. Well, I'm ready. That's what matters. Vigilance!
Wiping her spittle from her cheek, ask who they are.
Why whoever's snatching magisters off the street and disappearing them? 6 lost in a week. 6! Need to be ready. Ready! Ready! Ready to protect!
Waving you away, she cranes her neck to scan all around her, jaw clenched and eyes flickering. Head nodding drowsily.
They won't take me unawares. I'm ready for anything. See? I haven't stepped in.
She turns her back on the other Magister and leans right up close in your business.
Shh! No need to shout about it. It's just a tiny, eensy mite of a smidgen of whatever can keep me awake. No sleep. If I can just keep my eyes open, I'll be safe.
She breathes heavily as she looks past your face, pupils dark and wide as the void, then resumes her twitchy post.
I'm on a break now, Yvette. You better not fall asleep on your watch again.
Calm down, Brianna. Carver's got his dossier on the sorcerers. Everything's falling into place. All I need to do is watch.
Ja, gut, dann...
Can't I go and play with the others?
No can do, Chickadee. You're not leaving my
Da
side
dürfen
for
wir
a while
wahrscheinlich nicht
longer yet.
runter. Doch.
Passionless, unblinking eyes regard you from beneath the silent watcher's cowl. The Magister turns to you with a scowl. He already seemed immensely displeased, and your interjection isn't improving his mood.
What?
Soldier, note that he doesn't seem too pleased with this posting by the sounds of it.
Look around. Would you be happy stuck guarding this bloody place? 10 years of service and he stick me in a hole with a bunch of speechless goons. The new leadership ought to learn to respect its veterans. We're the ones who uphold the rule of law, not white ponces like Raymond and Jonathan.
Shrug and remark, that's duty. Duty's duty. It can't all be praise and glory. Express your sympathies and suggest that perhaps he'll get reassigned soon.
A sly smile creeps across the Magister's face.
Aye, and sooner than you might think, if the rumours are true. Let's just say, there's other places where I'd be appreciated more than I am in Driftwood.
Tell him that he should leave then, and join up with whatever his venture is. Sneer and say that he seems to have an inflated opinion of himself. Say that he's picked for curiosity. What is this other place? Where'd he be more appreciated?
The Magister loses some of his bluster.
I ain't saying. It's a secret for loyal members of the Divine Order only.
Tell him that he should leave them and join up with whatever this venture is.
Who asked you? You're not even supposed to be down here.
Remark that if he seems like a skilled individual, if his talents are being squandered here, then he ought to leave immediately.
The Magister glances around the cells, before ripping the keys from his belt and casting them aside.
This isn't the Divine Order I signed up for. Not anymore. I'm done.
Ist immer noch stehlen. Wahrscheinlich muss ich die erst noch wegschicken. Unknown. Das klingt aber falsch.
Come on, can't I go and play with the others?
Bellwether, I need those reports, damn it.
Right away.
In my sight for a while longer yet.
The Magister's jaw is tightly clenched as he stares out of the window. He senses you.
What?
Raise the subject of the disappearances. Ask what the fugitive is supposed to look like.
Those tinkerers all look the same. Scruffy, gold-hungry, sly wretches. This one has a grey beard and a dark cloak, according to reports.
Wonder what will happen if the fugitive is caught.
When, not if, and you'll see for yourself in time. We'll make all of Driftwood come and see what happens to those who conspire against us.
Suggest that the missing magisters could have just deserted.
Desertions? What do you know about desertions?
Say that you heard word around town. Some magisters have abandoned their posts lately. Scoff that is what you'd do if you were a magister, given the state of things around here. You know das?
This miserable town has too many gossip mongers. But they're right. We have had some desertions of late. The veterans disgruntled with the new leadership. But they slip away in the night, taking supplies. Cowards and traitors, all of them. I'm looking for loyal magisters, vanishing in broad daylight. Desertion just doesn't fit.
Raise the subject of the disappearances?
Well, do you stop
Nothing new, okay. Bellworth?
State your business to Magister.
Da können wir nichts.
You're not leaving my...
Gehen wir nochmal runter. Diese Kiste können wir ja anscheinend... Die können wir einfach so aufmachen. Locked. Lockpick. Unidentified ring. Ja. Scoundrel Pyrokinetic. Und ordentlich Rüstung. Ist besser als das. Und dann müssten wir mal gucken. Statt Scoundrel. Ja, da sind halt 9 drauf. Und Necromancer ist passiv sowieso gar nicht so schlecht. Weil man dadurch ja heilt, wenn man Schaden macht. Wobei ich jetzt nicht weiß, ob das nur bei Zaubern ist. Oder grundsätzlich. Ja, okay, jetzt ist es auch nicht mehr stehlen. Jetzt ist ja alles weiß geworden, weil der Besitzer weg ist. Cold Mashed Potatoes. Gut, dann mache ich hier auch erstmal wieder einen Schnitt und dann schauen wir beim nächsten Mal weiter, was wir hier noch machen können. Silent Watcher. Das sind bestimmt irgendwelche Typen, mit denen wir noch reden können und der sieht ziemlich tot aus. Brixby. Ja, gut, schauen wir uns beim nächsten Mal weiter um. Bis denn!